Mark Carney's ascendancy to the position of Canada's Prime Minister was entirely expected. As a former governor of both the Bank of Canada and the Bank of England, Carney is an accomplished financial technocrat, but his entry into the world of high-stakes politics has left many questioning his ability to navigate the increasingly precarious world order, and his victory arrives at a moment of intense global and economic tension, with Donald Trump's threats against Canada looming large. Trump's response to Carney's victory was characteristically bombastic. He's repeatedly floated the idea of annexing Canada as a 51st state, a notion that's enraged Canadians and fueled a surge of nationalism, and Trump's imposition of a 25% tariff on all Canadian imports, excluding cars and energy, has further strained relations. Carney's immediate reaction was resolute. America is not Canada. Canada never ever will be part of America in any way, shape, or form. While Trump's rhetoric is antagonistic, Washington's policymakers are taking a more measured approach. Antony Blinken, for example, said that Carney's economic expertise can help mediate tensions, and Canada remains an indispensable ally in North America. Meanwhile, some US business leaders have urged restraint, fearing a trade war could cause unnecessary damage to both economies. Carney's tenure as governor of the Bank of England means that his relationship has drawn particular interest in the UK, and Keir Starmer has congratulated Carney, emphasising the deep historical ties between the two nations. But Brexit hardliners such as Jacob Rees-Mogg have revived old criticisms of Carney's handling of Britain's post-Brexit financial policies, labelling him a bureaucrat with globalist tendencies who may not put Canadian interests first. European leaders have largely welcomed Carney's leadership, viewing him as a stabilising force in global finance. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen expressed confidence that Carney understands the intricacies of international economic governance and could be a crucial player in upcoming trade negotiations. There's also speculation that Carney may seek to strengthen Canadian-EU trade ties as a counterbalance to Trump's aggression. Beijing has taken a cautious but optimistic stance towards Carney's election, and while the Chinese government has expressed willingness to work with the new administration, there's a lingering scepticism about Carney's position on foreign investment, particularly given his previous role in warning about financial instability tied to global markets. Some analysts predict that Canada may pursue stronger trade diversification efforts, particularly in Asia, to reduce its reliance on the US market. Financial markets have responded positively to Carney's victory, but with some caution. The Canadian dollar initially strengthened against the US dollar following his win, a sign of investor confidence in his economic acumen. But concerns over Trump's tariffs and Carney's lack of political experience have kept markets volatile. The Toronto Stock Exchange saw a brief rally, particularly in sectors linked to finance and clean energy, two areas Carney has championed. However, concerns about a looming trade war have kept investors on edge, particularly in industries reliant heavily on US trade such as agriculture and manufacturing. Carney's immediate challenge is twofold: stabilising Canada's economy in the face of Trump's escalating trade war, and proving his political credibility. With an election mandated by October 2025, Carney's ability to rally support beyond the Liberal base will be tested sooner rather than later. And while his economic credentials are formidable, his lack of political experience could prove a liability in the coming months. His policy agenda remains a work in progress, but key early signals suggest that he will scrap Trudeau's carbon tax in favour of a system of green incentives, maintain retaliatory tariffs against the US goods until Washington revisits its trade policies, seek to diversify Canada's trade relationships beyond North America, particularly with the EU and Asian economies, and increase Canada's defence spending to meet NATO's 2% GDP target by 2030. Mark Carney's election as Canada's Prime Minister marks a profound shift in the country's political landscape. His expertise in financial markets positions him as a formidable leader in economic governance, but his ability to withstand the pressures of electoral politics is untested. and the global response to his victory underscores both the hopes and the uncertainties surrounding his tenure, and with the shadow of Trump looming over Canada's economy and sovereignty, Carney faces a defining moment that will shape his legacy and Canada's future for years to come.